Hello all YouTubers, The Weather Dude here with your weather forecast for your exact location. Thank you all for tuning back in to my special live coverage for March 13th, 2019. As always, please subscribe, ring the bell notifications, that really helps my channel. Thank you all for the excessive amount of views. Last video, I really appreciate that. As always, I am putting a link to my previous video in the description box below. Today's presentation is a special live coverage of Winter Storm Ulmer. And this storm is a blizzard. It is terrible. I mean, we're talking about winds of 70 miles an hour, wind gusts at times, and very heavy snowfall, ice, severe weather as well. So please stay tuned for that. Also, a lot of rain. So these are the wind gusts. Okay, currently it's 7 o'clock. Okay, and you can see where the storm's central pressure is. It's right here. And I will also talk about how the storm is a bombogenesis. I'll tell you what that means later on in the video. So stay tuned for that as well. You can see northwesterly wind, and the winds are tightly wrapped around the storm. Okay, it's not just like a typical low pressure system where we just have the winds like this, the north and west on the back side, and how the south and east on the front side. It's a very well developed storm, or as many call it, including me, a hurricane on land. Okay, this is basically what it is. So wind gusts right now, especially Oklahoma and Texas, have stronger wind gusts. I think of up around 65 or 70 miles an hour. But those wind gusts are going to continue to strengthen as the storm pulls up to the north and east. 11 o'clock, okay, those 70 mile an hour wind gusts shown in the red color. We're talking about Nebraska, eastern Colorado, and the mountain ranges, northwestern Kansas, picking up those 65, 70 mile an hour wind gusts. Now, as we head into Thursday, let's do 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, you can see the spinning low pressure still right here. You still got those 70 mile an hour plus wind gusts. And notice how the winds are on the back side are much stronger, in fact, than the winds on the front side. So you can see that the storm is pulling a lot more colder air than it is warmer air. And that's why a lot of these areas are seeing snow. But there still has to be warm air pulled up in order for there to be snow and moisture. Okay, I am sorry, I did not know where that went. But anyway, so you get the pictures. Winds of 65 to 70 miles an hour, wind gusts, and we will have a line of severe thunderstorms that I will also talk about right now. That is heading through the southeast and Tennessee Valley. So what is a bombogenesis? To those of you who don't know, it is a rapidly deepening low pressure system. This is an example of one right here. Okay, the drop in central pressure. Okay, so if I'm looking at a weather model right here, like the NAM, right? Okay, the central pressure basically is that red number right there. You see 980? That's the central pressure. The lower that number is, the stronger the winds in the storm. So that number, if that drops 24 millibars or greater, so if it drops by 24, in 24 hours or less. Okay. And our common in October to March feeds on temperature contrast. Okay. Temperature contrast feeds them. Usually they happen on the northeast coast, but this one actually happened on land. Pretty ironic. I mean, it's not unusual, but it's pretty ironic if you think about it. So we do have a marginal risk of severe weather for southeastern Nebraska and northeastern Kansas. Okay, but we also have a marginal to slight risk across the southeast from Houston about up to western Kentucky, just west of Paducah. So Memphis, Tennessee, Jackson, Tennessee, Jonesboro, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Monroe, Louisiana, you're in that slight risk. Okay, Houston, Texas, Lincoln, Nebraska, Shreveport, Louisiana, Little Rock, Arkansas, and Jackson, Mississippi, some pretty populated cities, okay, are in that marginal risk. So about over 16 million people, just like the other day, my video, okay, about 16 million people going to be affected by either a marginal risk of severe weather or a slight risk. Slight risk is worse than marginal. Okay, and the square mileage is going to be about over 180,000. So here's the population. Okay, you see not too much in the way of population, but these areas are populated, so please be careful. Okay, if a tornado happens to come your way, God forbid. So, if you look at this map here, it shows you 2% chance of tornadoes, 5% chance of tornadoes. It doesn't sound like much, but it can happen at any given point in time. 15% chance of damaging winds, and also 5% chance of damaging hail. As we head into tomorrow, that area of severe weather actually kind of grows a little bit. We have a larger area of severe weather. Okay, we're talking about now from central northern Michigan all the way down to Louisiana in the marginal, and inside there you're going to have that slight risk. Okay, and outside there is just regular thunderstorms. So about over 45 million people are going to be affected by severe weather, whether it be a marginal or slight risk, tomorrow, on Thursday. And that translates to about over 270,000 square miles. Cities like Indianapolis, Chicago, Nashville, Detroit, Toledo, Columbus, Cincinnati, Memphis, Louisville, and Cleveland, all cities that I know about that are actually pretty big in population, are going to be affected. Okay, and because Chicago is a very well-affected area, or populated area, as well as Detroit, okay, that's going to really raise that area of population that's going to be affected by the severe weather. And by day 3, nothing left, okay, just some severe, or not severe, just regular old rain and thunderstorms. Maybe a severe storm or two is possible. Okay, so marginal, okay, isolated severe weather possible. I've showed you this before. Limited duration, coverage, or intensity. Slight is the highest one we've seen today. Short-lived, not widespread, but there could be an isolated intense storms possible. In that no label where it says thunderstorms, no severe storms expected, but it could be possible. Okay, lightning and flooding exists with all thunderstorms. Just keep that in mind. So we're going to show you a couple models now. Actually, 2 models, the NAM and the HRR, to give you an idea. HRR is a high-resolution model, to give you an idea of where the storm is and where it's headed. Okay, so NAM 3KM model, we're going to show that one first. Okay, right now, okay, NAM 12KM, or excuse me, NAM 3KM, but you can see, here's the low. Okay, you got this huge shield of snow on the western side. You got these like rain bands. Okay, this looks like a hurricane on land. Okay, you got these rain bands, and one of those rain bands is a severe weather band that's pushing through. How ironic. But just look how the storm just spins. It just spins like a hurricane. It's very fascinating if you think about it. By Thursday morning, it's still snowing on the backside of the storm. Got some ice in between. Ice accumulations could be around a ½ an inch. For some areas, maybe even 3/4 of an inch. Significant icing is possible. Okay, and you got some rain where the air is warm. Well, why is it raining? Well, for one, the temperatures are too warm, okay, and there's a lot of moisture in the air. So, but it's going to be a cold rain wherever it's raining, except for areas down here, okay, but like areas like northern Wisconsin, southeastern Minnesota, it's going to be a pretty cold rain for you, okay, and eventually, as we head through time, the storm system will pull out, okay, by about Thursday afternoon, around that time frame, as you can see here. By Friday morning, some lingering snow showers over the Midwest. So, HRR model, okay, you see telling the same story as the NAM 3KM, okay. Total snowfall accumulations are going to be 12 to 18 inches, with some areas picking up a couple of feet, possibly. Which is what I'm going to show you here. Okay, so this is like around, here's South Dakota, western South Dakota, there's western Nebraska, there's Colorado, Wyoming, and North Dakota's up there. Okay, so weather timeline, lasting through today, tonight, and into Thursday. Only a couple locations will be seeing snow and strong winds Thursday night. So not many locations there. Additional snowfall, this was released around 2:30 Eastern time. Okay, if you go 2 hours back in the MDT time, it's 12:25. 18 to 24 inches of snow. Okay, in a few areas, but most areas should see a good foot to foot and a half additionally, starting a few hours ago. So a lot of areas will total around a foot and a half or maybe even 2 feet. But look at the storm on satellite. This just tells the whole story. It just literally like looks like a hurricane. Okay, it's sitting, the central pressure sitting right here. You have these rain bands out ahead of it. Okay, I will not stop saying that. It looks like a hurricane. Okay, you got that nice wraparound flow behind it. And even from the wraparound flow, and this is why I think this storm looks so well developed. The wraparound flow, okay, the dry air coming on the backside of the storm, the moisture being sucked down, that's getting sucked back up into the southeastern quadrant of the storm, which usually doesn't happen that much. Usually, you know, the rain goes from here and gets sucked to the backside and it kind of just stays there. But this moisture actually gets pulled around and around and around and around again, which does kind of happen. It doesn't happen too often, however, in most hurricanes. You can see there it is on the visible loop. So winds, okay, max wind gusts. If you see anywhere in these gray areas, okay, that is your hurricane force winds. Anywhere in those yellow areas, that's your tropical storm force winds. A lot of areas, max wind gusts are going to be 60 to 70 miles an hour. A few areas could pick up 75, but I don't think that's going to be too often. I think it'll be more of those 65, 60 mile an hour wind gusts. So that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe, ring the bell notifications, and also drop a like. I am the Weather Dude, signing off till next time. Thank you for watching.